Coverage you can count on. Way 31 News at 10 starts now.
We start with new developments on the coronavirus outbreak in Alabama. Take a look at your screen. The state has now 999 cases, just one shy of hitting 4 digits. There are also 13 confirmed deaths so far.
1/10 of those cases are from Madison County. North Alabama's largest county is the first to hit the century mark. It has the second most cases in Alabama, with 100 even.
New information tonight from Major League Baseball. It is suspending the start of the minor league baseball season until further notice. Huge news, of course, for North Alabama, with the Trash Pandas' inaugural season now on hold. We reached out to the team, but we're not given a comment at this time.
And we have new information tonight on the 4 employees who tested positive for coronavirus at the Highlands Medical Center in Jackson County. You are taking a live look at the hospital now. The chairman of the Jackson County Commission tells Way 31 2 of the 4 employees are nurses at the hospital. We are working to learn the roles of the other 2 employees. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Naja Sherman.
And I'm Dan Schaefer. We start out with team coverage. Way 31 Stephen Dilsizian has been following this story throughout the day. And Stephen, what is the latest?
Yeah, guys, as of right now, the Alabama Department of Public Health has counted 8 total coronavirus cases in Jackson County, but County Commission Chairman Tim Guffey tells me that number does not include all 4 employees at the Highlands Medical Center. Now, Guffey tells me 2 of the 4 employees at the Highlands Medical Center were nurses. I reached out to the hospital directly, but they would not release any information about the employees. Hospital officials do tell me all 4 employees are self-quarantined at home and are not being held at the hospital. They also tested many other employees for the coronavirus. All of those tests have come back negative. Guffey tells me anyone who could have potentially been exposed or in contact with those 4 hospital employees have already been contacted. Now, the hospital is screening anybody that comes into the facility, checking people's temperature, making sure they don't have any of the symptoms of coronavirus. Guffey tells me, though, that there's a little bit of a shortage, especially when it comes to gowns at the hospital. Right now, they only have about a week's worth of masks before they officially run out. If you have any extra supplies and are willing to donate them, you can find out how to on our website at waytv.com. Reporting live in Jackson County, Stephen Dilsizian, Way 31 News.
Thanks, Stephen. In a statement from Highlands Medical Center, hospital officials say they, quote, anticipate those on the front line could contract the virus in the community or from providing care. The statement goes on to say the risk is especially heightened during this pandemic.
Highlands Medical Center isn't the only North Alabama hospital to have employees test positive. Today, a spokesperson with Crestwood Hospital confirmed 2 staff members tested positive. We know one was a physician and the other is an employee. One of them is hospitalized. The other is quarantined at home. Yesterday, Huntsville Hospital had its first confirmed case.
New tonight, Alabama is one of just 17 states that has not yet issued a shelter-in-place order, but its rate of increasing cases is blowing by states that have. Governor Kay Ivey has often said, quote, we are not Louisiana, we are not New York State, we are not California. Now, she is correct in terms of population density and number of cases, but in terms of increasing cases, Alabama is surging above them with a 365% increase since last week. These numbers are from the COVID Tracking Project.
Let's dive deeper into just how serious things are starting to get in Alabama.
Here are the latest numbers from the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation. Now, the good news is there is no hospital bed shortage in the state, but hospitals are running low on supplies and running out of time. Right now, the peak date for cases and resource use is projected to be April 20th. By that date, there will be an estimated shortage of 78 beds in intensive care units for the most critically ill patients. 441 ventilators will be needed.
The most alarming statistic, deaths. Today, the total doubled from 6 to 13. Currently, another 11 deaths are under investigation. Based on the state's projected arch, we are expected to peak at 37 deaths per day.
And this last stat is something that will stick with many of you. With Alabama's current trajectory, the state could hit as many as 1,173 deaths by early August. To put that in perspective, Alabama doesn't even have that many confirmed cases yet. And it would be almost a 9,000% increase on the current death total. On a positive note, the projected death total dropped more than 500 deaths just from yesterday. So it goes to show a lot can change by then.
There is still 20 days between now and our projected peak day. While some of these new numbers seem catastrophic, health officials at the federal, state, and local level all agree that if everyone does their part, we can flatten the curve and save lives. Tonight, the Way 31 I-team sifted through misinformation, confusion, and complaints over a 2010 public health guideline. It states that people with severe mental disabilities should not be given a ventilator in a pandemic like the one we're in now. This is a direct quote from the state's guidelines and mass casualty events. It says, quote, persons with severe or profound mental retardation, moderate to severe dementia, or catastrophic neurological complications such as persistent vegetative state are unlikely candidates for ventilator support. The coronavirus pandemic led to advocacy groups filing complaints about it. When we confronted them, the department said it updated guidelines recently. The verbiage in the new plan dated February 2020 says, quote, all people deserve equal respect, and with this in mind, the allocation of care cannot discriminate based on anything that is not directly relevant to the eligibility of individuals to receive care.
New at 10, experts say people struggling with addiction are more at risk of relapse as routines get disrupted and lives put on pause due to the coronavirus restrictions. Way 31's Megan Reyna joins us live in Huntsville now with what the Partnership for a Drug-Free Community is doing to safely serve people in recovery. Megan?
Yeah, as of right now, the group's newest program, the Recovery Resource Hub, is still operating. It provides services for those that are seeking treatment. But as for those meetings, those group meetings, like many other things, they're going virtual.
The big triggers for a lot of people is just being lonely.
Pat Laney has been clean for more than 25 years.
Just can't imagine myself doing anything different.
He's now a certified recovery support specialist, dedicating his time to helping people find a new path in life. But with the pandemic, they've been thrown some curveballs.
It's a very unique time, very unique situation, and we did not want to not be able to offer services.
A week ago, the organization chose to hold virtual recovery support meetings using Zoom.
You know, it's just one of those things that gives them 45 minutes where they can talk about the problems and face it, we all have fears right now.
And while it's too early to tell, Laney does suspect this pandemic could cause more people to relapse.
Since it's kind of hit, we are getting a lot more phone calls about people that's seeking help.
Laney told me there are some treatment facilities that are taking in less patients right now due to the coronavirus. But he says if you or someone you know is in need of treatment, to contact him. We have his information on our website at waytv.com. For now, reporting live in Huntsville, Megan Reyna, Way 31 News.
Thanks, Megan. Your stock portfolio has certainly taken a hit so far this year. Today marked the end of the first quarter, and for some indices, it was their worst in history. The month of March was the worst for the Dow Jones Industrial Average since October of 2008. From January through March, the Dow lost 23.2% of its value, the worst first quarter for the Dow ever. The tech-heavy NASDAQ fared just a little better. For the 3 months ending today, the NASDAQ lost a little more than 14%. Its worst showing since 2018. The S&P 500 lost 20% this quarter, its worst first quarter in history. Futures are showing another down start to the trading day Wednesday. Here's a look at it right now. Left side of your screen, S&P looks down 30 points. The Dow futures now down 240. That's just over 1%.
The Alabama runoff was slated for today, but the coronavirus forced voters to stay inside their homes. The runoff is now scheduled for July 14th. The big ticket is the Republican nomination for U.S. Senate between Jeff Sessions and Tommy Tuberville. Eligible Alabamians can register to vote in the runoff election until June 29th. And speaking of voting in Alabama, we are learning that $400 million of the $2 trillion stimulus package from the government will be allocated to states to protect your right to vote. Alabama will receive more than $7 million of assistance towards the primary runoff. That is on July 14th and the general election on November 3rd. Most of that money is from the relief package. The Secretary of State's office is matching up to 20% of that funding.
New details, the Shoals community will soon get access to high-speed internet. JTM Broadband and the National Telephone of Alabama each got grant money for broadband expansion. That money will service the town of Killen in Lauderdale County and the Red Rock community in Colbert County. They are the only two areas of North Alabama that got to see some of the $9.5 million broadband expansion grant. In Sand Mountain, local companies are working to provide hotspots for the community. Here's an updated list of free internet access hotspot locations available. They include the Collinsville, Crossville, and Geraldine City Halls. Companies are working to get more hotspots set up across DeKalb County.
The internet expansion comes less than a week before students across Alabama are scheduled to begin classes online. Some school districts are using a mix of online learning and take-home packets. The packets are for students who don't have internet access. Today, several school districts officially announced graduation will be rescheduled. At this time, they do not have an exact date as to when the ceremonies will be held, but it will be later this summer.
The coronavirus putting a strain on donations to a local food pantry, how much organizations need those donations, and how you can help.
And utility companies are keeping the lights on, how they are helping customers in need during the coronavirus crisis.
WAAY 31's Will Robinson-Smith is live at Asbury Church in Madison. Take a look at your screen. These adorable puppies got to visit the Georgia Aquarium this week. Live reports from the hardest hit Lauderdale, Limestone, and Morgan counties. We start tonight, though, with WAAY 31 Chief Meteorologist Kate McKenna.
Then the storm went straight through Nashville, affecting downtown. East Nashville, of course, almost paralleling I-40. Significant damage in the Mount Juliet area. The
400-yard wide EF1 started in Killen, traveled 3 3/4 miles east over to Lexington. Over in Morgan County, drivers had a hard time out on the road. This video from the Morgan County Sheriff's Office.
Here is an overview of the coronavirus in the United States by the numbers.
Now, the biggest showdown of the day may be in Texas. Sanders and Joe Biden are set up for a Wild West standoff.
And it's not just roads that are having problems. Police in Sheffield closed the railroad bridge that goes over the Tennessee River.
Take a look at your screen. As of right now, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention
Wildlife officials across the southeast have a deadly deer disease in their sights. How they're making hunters aware so they can keep the disease from spreading.
And Madison County is now safer with the addition of 2 new storm shelters. Hear from residents who are relieved they're coming right ahead of the next severe weather season.
Well, dog years may be shorter than ours, but new research suggests our four-legged friends could be adding years to our lives. We'll tell you how next.
Coming up, WAAY 31's getting ready for the countdown to college football kickoff for Alabama teams this weekend. We'll take it to Dallas and Atlanta to see how Auburn and Alabama are preparing for their first games of the season.
Get ready for a toga party in Athens.
Hey, everything you need to know, Alpha to Omega, about Greek Week. It's underway right now in the city.
Witches are trading in their brooms for bikes for tonight's Witches Ride through Florence.
We'll tell you how you can take part to help a good cause.
You don't have to wish upon a star to make this dream come true, but it will take some luck. Learn how you can get paid to watch Disney movies.